pleasure. So Diddler's trial is scheduled to begin very shortly, and so Diddy and his team, they have a new defense. We're gonna talk about it because what? But before we talk about Diddy, there are two things I would like to talk about in this video. I will be putting timestamps down below just in case you do not want to hear it. Please remember to hit that like button, that like button. And then, if you have not already, please think about hitting that subscribe button. Okay. So, the mukbang and part of the ASMR community is mourning. We have lost someone in a tragic way, and I don't know why I keep thinking about it, but I do. His name was Lips, LLIPS, and actually that stood for Living Life in Positive Serenity. His real name was Bradley Cormel Jones. He was shot. He was shot to death. Let me start from the beginning. I never watched Lips channel like that. The only reason why I know who he was is because he got into some controversy with another content creator that I watched, and then because of what happened, I then went on his page to figure out who he was, everything else. His channel was not for me. It was not. It was a lot of extra smacking, and I don't really do much eating videos. But he did seem like a fun, lovable guy. He was part of the rainbow community, and as of now, from my understanding, as per Lips's sister, his husband was the one to shoot him with a 9mm gun. He was shot on the 16th of April and then passed away 6 days later on the 22nd. He had no brain function or anything like that, and the hospital made a decision to take him off life support. They had no phone number for any other family member except for his husband, so they couldn't reach out to the sister. They tried but couldn't seem to locate her. And so I say all of this because it just gets even sadder that he died alone. The doctors made the decision. There was nobody around, nobody to. That's just sad for anyone to die by themselves. So then when I heard that his husband's name is Production, I guess that's his nickname, but his real name is Cameron Dominic Hefner. I'm sorry for the outside noise. But yeah, his husband's name again is Production, aka Cameron Dominic Hefner. And he has officially been arrested for the murder of Lips. We have no idea what happened. We had no idea if it was an argument or this or that. professor or this and that. I honestly do not know. I wasn't invested, so I don't know. But the moment I heard it circulating on YouTube, I knew exactly who they were talking about. When I went onto their page, it was weird because I was trying to look at the interaction between Lips and Production, his husband, and just kind of going through some of the videos real quickly. It seemed as if the husband, Production, was, I wouldn't necessarily say that he was scared, but at times he seemed as if like he was unsure or scared or didn't want to eat, and the whole channel was a mukbang channel, right? So I don't know. And the husband, for me, seemed a little off. Now, me personally, Lips came off as just someone who is not here to play games, but people who knew him say that he was loving, and nothing bad to say about him. But I guess his reputation online, just from the videos, it just seemed as if he would curse you out in a second or whatever. But I think people have to remember that what you see on camera might not be the real actual person. So I don't know if that was his real personality or not. When this story broke, a lot of people thought it was just like a heart attack, because we do know that Lips did have some health issues, but then we found out that was not the case. And then because of all these stories circulating, the sister did a live and just kind of explained everything, confirming what happened, confirming the death of her brother, and then confirming, stuff. And the one thing that she confirmed is that they both did things to each other. It wasn't just like one or the other. If one was an abuser, so was the other one. If one cheated, so did the other one, right? It was like a back end thing, a toxic relationship. So there wasn't one innocent person, because I've noticed online that people are saying, well, he probably deserved it or this or that because he was this and nasty online. But I'm just like, people can be so damn heartless. It's anyway, his husband was picked up on the 22nd, and he is arrested for aggravated assault. Yep. Then the sister was telling us that if we look into the husband, Production, aka Cameron, that his lives, we will see it getting darker and darker and darker as it went on. As time went on, you can tell that the husband was not happy, that there was just something wrong with this relationship. And then there was a live with Lips just really going off, like tell him, oh nah, you acting this way because the effing cameras are on, So truth be told, I'm here to say that it seemed as if the relationship was toxic on both ends. And unfortunately, like a lot of people in the family was telling them this relationship should be left alone and something bad was going to happen. But I don't think anyone in a million years thought this. Yeah, so again, I didn't watch the channel like that, but I knew who he was. And B-Love is talking about it, the T channels. And again, the moment I heard his name, I don't even know why I knew who he was, but I did. And so, my condolences. That's just so up. Damn. Anyway, you know what else though? As I was going through his videos, it seemed as if he was just a free spirit. So Devin, you better love me for life, cause. But yes, she kicked off her tour, I think 2 or 3 days ago. She starts off in California, and let me just say something, right? Blue Ivy. Like, when the hell did she shoot up the way she did? She is so tall. At first, I was just like, wait a minute, she's taller than Beyoncé. I was shocked, and she's only 13 years old. But baby, when I tell you Blue came out not playing with any one of you, not a one. She was like, yeah, y'all called me all types of names during the Renaissance tour, saying I was ugly, I can't dance. But baby, it seemed as if during the Christmas holidays or whatever, she sat there practicing, because Blue Ivy is now part of Beyonce's dancers, which I think it's amazing because she's earning a paycheck, and she's not just like, yeah, I'm Beyonce's daughter, just give me my money. No, the girl is on stage, hitting it, doing solos, all of it. Now, is she perfect? No. But what 13-year-old child is perfect? I mean, let alone she's performing in front of how many people? Like, people are so mean. Again, I keep mentioning Facebook because Facebook is the root of all evil. It's just, why do I bother? I don't know. I think I bother because it's like, I can't believe people are still like this. But they have gone in on Blue Ivy first performance of this new concert, and they are going at her, and I'm just like, are you grown people not embarrassed that you're sitting here tearing apart a 13-year-old child who has done absolutely nothing to any one of you? Like, I can understand if people don't even like North, right? Kim K's daughter, because she's on social media, she's mouthy, she's this, she's that, we've seen her. We don't hear from Blue. Like, the Carters do not do social media, period. So it's like people are hating this young lady because of who her mother is. She can't help that. She can't help that her... Yeah, almost caught me with the J comment. I was about to go there, but you know, she can't. Yeah. So why are people hating on this show? It's disgusting. But yeah, Blue is out there on tour with her mother. But I think the one thing that got my attention was that she actually put on her youngest daughter. I think her name is Rumi, on stage. And when I tell you, I felt as if I had tears coming down my eyes of happiness, tears of happiness. I just said to myself, how can anyone harm these children or a child? Because she introduced, me to the world. And that little girl was so excited. She was jumping up and down and just wait. She was a typical child. It was just so refreshing to see. She was overly excited. And then when she waved to the crowd, she turned around to hug her mom, Beyoncé. And Beyoncé even had to stop. And it was like a touching moment. She was full of excitement. People are screaming her name. And then she turned back around and she was still jumping up. It was the cutest thing. And then here comes Blue, trying to help her mom in the situation by kindly taking Blue to the back. Just calm. I don't know. All I know is, if you want to smile, go look up that clip. Beyoncé, Cowboy Tour, kids. touching moment. It was not she was a celebrity or da-da-da-da. It was a mother and daughter's moment on stage. But back to Blue. People are really coming for her when people can't even walk straight. Some of y'all can't even walk straight, let alone telling a 13-year-old child what she can and cannot do. I don't get it. And then people are like, oh, she should be in school. How do y'all not know she's not in school? How do y'all not know she's not traveling with the tutor or something like that? Matter of fact, Blue Ivy is not a dummy. Oh, if you see her academic list and how many languages this young lady can speak, play with the Carters if you want to. But yeah, touching moment on stage with Beyoncé and her children. By the way, I know a lot of people were questioning, because at one point I was questioning it too, where the hell is Beyonce's son? And so, because remember, Rumi is a twin, and I think her brother's name is Sir. I think. Don't quote me. But I kept saying we see Blue all the time. Blue is even in like music videos and stuff like that. And now we see the young one with, Jay-Z a lot, and out with Beyonce as well. Where's the little boy? So in the back of my mind, I was saying, you know what? That little boy don't like crowds. He don't like people or crowds. He don't. And come to find out, I think it has been confirmed that her son has autism. But Beyonce's grandmother is saying how smart he is, and he's more into books and science and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it. So the Diddler's trial is scheduled to begin on May 12th, 2025. Jury selections will begin on May 5th, which is actually interesting because I know Diddy is not known. Not everyone in the world knows who Diddy is, but it'll be interesting to find someone who don't know anything about this case. The trial is expected to last 8 to 10 weeks. And as we know, Diddy is facing charges of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, transportation, all of it. If you have no idea what this case is about, I suggest you go ahead and check out my Diddy playlist that breaks everything down. As per TMZ, there is a lot of new activity in the Diddy case now forming on both sides. Both sides are now taking stands on issues that are going to be critical to this case. And one in particular, which is really interesting, is just what happens with respect to drug use. Which, of course, the drug use is going to be front and stage of this whole entire case, right? So, what happens when someone's on drugs? Remember, in the indictment, prosecutors have said that they believe that Diddy has alleged victims to make them more compliant during his big parties or freak-offs. So, to summarize all of that, the issue is going to be about Diddy's drug use and the battle over his mental capacity. Oh yes, his mental capacity. There is a testimony of a psychiatrist, and the prosecutor is saying we do not want this psychiatrist to testify to anything having to do with how drugs or alcohol use can affect never seen Diddy, never evaluated him, never even spoke to him. But they want to bring in this psychiatrist to explain that Diddy's mental capacity, forgive me, it's not all there. They want to use the psychiatrist, right? I'm trying to make sure that everyone can understand what I'm saying. Okay, they want to get the psychiatrist to come in and say, yeah, there might have been crimes committed, but there was no intent. No intent. So basically, the prosecutor is saying that the defense wants to use the psychiatrist to show somehow that Diddy committed a crime he did not have the intent to do because he was drugged up. Yup, that's what they came up with. That's some bullshit. That is some bullshit. That's like saying, I'm gonna go to a bar and get drunk. I didn't have any intent to kill anybody once I got behind that wheel, but I did. And so the fact that I was drunk, I should not be held responsible because when I pulled out, I had no intent on killing anybody, but because I was on alcohol, I should get a pass. And see, the funny thing about that is, from Yay High, didn't we all go to DARE? Y'all know what DARE stands for, right? Are you trying to tell me that you don't know what drugs do to you? I just, what? If this is Diddy's defense, then there's a whole lot of people that needs to be let out of jail. If people are using, alcohol or any type of drugs to say, there was no intent, he didn't know what he was doing, this whole case should be thrown out. It's like, what? Oh, a lot of people need to be out. So they're saying that what happened is not a crime at all. It's a lifestyle. It's a choice that Diddy and the alleged victims made. And that when they engaged in the drug use, they did it freely. And so if certain things happen under certain drugs, oh well, it just goes with the territory, basically. What? So in other words, what they're saying is that he might just be caught up in this entire rich lifestyle, celebrity lifestyle. There's no intent to commit a crime here. The only intent is to have only intent was to sometimes use drugs and alcohol, but everyone was grown. It was consensual. Everyone consented to taking the drugs and this and that. And if those drugs led to a lot of sex, oh well, that's it. It's part of the atmosphere. It's part of the freak off atmosphere, the swinging atmosphere, the swinging community. But that doesn't mean that there was ever any intent. He might be a freaky frog, but there was no intent to commit a crime. And it's not against the law to be freaky and want to be high. I'm just like, are we for real right now? So, if witness that was at that party that had drugs, it's gonna be like, well, you were on something, how do you remember? Or maybe you're fuzzy, or maybe you saw it as intent, but maybe really it wasn't. Or because you were on drugs, maybe your mind was altered. Maybe, you know, you said you wanted it, but thought you said you did not. Like, they're gonna be shutting down every type of nonsense. So it's a no. That means all reliable witnesses. Yeah. Nope, nope, nope. And then there was another major blow for the Diddy camp. Diddy's team wanted the Cassie video thrown out. They did not want that playing in the trial, in court, none of it. They wanted it completely out. Judge said, that videotape stays. Oh no, we are showing that tape, because see, here's the thing, that videotape is gonna be right, because you can sit there and say, yeah, I partied at night, da 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 da, but then that video, right, what does that show? It shows your character, it shows how much you're a monster, and then it also shows that, like, it was during the day. So if you know you have a drug problem, why aren't you getting help? If you know this is the result, like, right, you know what you did. The next day you didn't say, oh, okay, well, maybe I should stop drinking. No, you continued. And then there's a question of, you know, well, if there was no intent, then why the hell was everything recorded? Why was it secretly recorded? There's so much here. And then if that's the case, then why are you forcing people to do sexual activities, blackmailing people? Like, they're so threatening people. If everything was so consensual, this and that, and we're all just basically druggies who like to have freaky sex, I can't. And lastly, I found some of the questions that they're asking the jury, because remember, they're supposed to do jury selection by May 5th. And so, one of the questions is this. There may be evidence in this case about people engaging in sexual relations with multiple sexual partners. With hearing about that type of evidence, will that be difficult for you? You know, I did not know they asked these type of questions when picking for a jury selection for like a big case. The next one. Do you believe that wealthy people get away with things that the less wealthy do not? Duh. Like, everyone knows the more money you have, right? Some of this stuff is just stupid. And then the last one. Do you have any personal